city recovered and made steps towards getting back to normal this year?
Everybody pivoted, and so we did the same thing, and we had to first of all we had to react to the health aspects of the pandemic, and a little partial, but I think we were somewhat a model of people, governments that stepped in and did the first parts of the pandemic, and that was great. And and after the pandemic, we had to worry about business license, businesses going out of business, and the struggle there, and the pandemic stopping. And so we did have to pivot and make some changes, make some allowances for business license, extending due dates, and trying to be responsible in that way. We came through fairly well. Our timing in regards to some economic development projects allowed us to basically incubate those projects, mainly one big one, throughout the 18-month, 2-month period.
Talk about some of the big economic development moves in 2021 for the city.
Probably the biggest one was the hotel and parking garage, and we actually closed on the hotel the week of the shutdown, and we're sitting there signing papers on the closing of the financing of which ended up being $10 million project, and we used some hospitality money, and so we borrowed the rest. And just that day, the banker said he just got a call from his boss and said that's probably the last deal of the year here, and we came within a hair of probably having a hotel, but not being able to do the parking garage simultaneously as the hotel. But as things worked out, we were able to start both of those projects, and as you know, a couple months ago to 2 months ago now, both projects are open. The hotel, I think, again, was a game changer. It's been very exciting to watch the reaction to it, to see people come in and use it. I think we've had a couple of Clemson home games since the opening of the hotel, and the people visiting have reacted very well to it. I understand that they sold out the hotel, I think, both of those weekends. And so it just puts more people downtown, and and it allows us to grow, and it showed that we deserved a seat at the table in big economic development moves. And so I will continually thank some of the local guys that helped us get people, the Steve Kays and the John Glenns, and Jeff Waters, Ron Haskell. Those were local people who took their money and made a bet, and it's allowed us to now to have outside developers from other parts of not only the state, other parts of the country that are looking to invest in Anderson. Outside people are coming in and saying, hey, we like the space. Most governments wouldn't have thought about a parking garage to have a rooftop venue. And so I understand, I have not had these conversations, that we've showed it to people and said, well, we've got to, I think it'll work, but we've got to get natural gas and water and plumbing and restaurants, and so we already got that. Okay, so and I think people are developers and folks that are looking to occupy that space. So appreciate the fact that our council was foresighted enough to say, let's go ahead and do it, and at some point somebody take it. So hopefully, definitely, probably in 2022 we'll have a venue there. What it is, they'll just take advantage of the amenities up there.
A lot of people are excited about that space.
Yeah, I am too.
What else has been going on downtown? Let's start with housing. How's the housing situation looking downtown?
Downtown is 100% occupied, and has been for several years. You look at the spaces that are available for rent or purchase, and there's always a list. Obviously, one of the things that probably should happen first of the year is that the Palmetto building, it's my understanding that they're actively leasing spaces right now, and I think their plans are to be open very soon, first quarter, hopefully the first month of the year. So again, what that does is it puts 31 units or so downtown, which helps everything else downtown, and so that's a big component. We think that that apartment complex will has already showed the outside world that there are other possibilities for downtown living, whether that be condos or apartments, or there are a lot of things in the works and projects, and hopefully we can announce one very soon. But again, our community has not had not only our apartments downtown, we're 100% here, apartments all over the city are 100%. We hadn't had a major apartment complex built in years, and so there is some demand out there, and so hopefully that component of it, I think, will go forward in 2022. And residential housing is booming too. Though I want to say that we have, I think I'm right on this, Greg, but 2,000 units planned, and more to come, and the growth's happening all over the city, and especially told someone this the other day, I wish Miss Floyd was still alive, because she would be tickled that residential housing, new developments are happening in the southeast Anderson part, the district that she represents. So we have annexed some land on Broadway Lake Road and Belton Highway, townhomes, residential housing there, 29 South toward the Jockey Lot. I guess that would be north, 29 North, housing development also, and obviously in the Midway Road 81 corridor is booming, and so and that market's been hot for a while, but it's expanding too. So we have our county has done a good job of attracting jobs, manufacturing jobs, and these folks have to have somewhere to live, and so and that's happening right now. The Magnetic Brewery Plaza, they've started renovation of the old, I'm gonna call it the Den, the restaurant, and I noticed that John Wright and his company are starting that demolition. We are narrowing the four-way street from Tribble through Calhoun, and so that will go from, we'll shrink that from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, parking on both sides, streetscapes, and we'll take that streetscape, we'll go toward Calhoun to McDuffie and finish that next to Electric City Brewery, and get some infrastructure going there. But I think that's dynamic in the fact that we plan a lot, and that was part of Shock This Block, and you know, some of these areas are part of, and I'm proud of that, it's part of what citizen participation say, what do you want Anderson to do? You know, we need a downtown hotel, and quite frankly, we had already started working on that, you know, even as they spoke. But you know, and the Greenville Street corridor was another. And so, you know, you start planning, and you have all these areas that you can show people. And so just pretty excited about that development. Magnetic South, I think it adds another venue, another park to our system. We just had the Christmas tree lighting, Christmas parade. Downtown is just not Main Street. It's the east-west expansion of downtown with the Equinox Mills, and we have mill sites that need to be redeveloped, and so that ends up being to coin Greenville. It could be our West End. All of a sudden, you get Anchor and you have things going not only north and south, but east and west. And so, and I think that'll happen naturally over the lifetime of our development in the city. Downtown is just not Main Street. A lot of communities would die to have within blocks institutions like hospitals and universities within 5-6 blocks. And so I think the growth of what we've done infrastructure-wise will continue to pay its dividends when the private sector comes in and they kind of take root of doing things in regards to housing and hotels, retail, and that type of thing. And we were very conservative. We were as far as budgeting goes, and we pulled back revenues from business license and hospitality money, and property tax, and so and I think we came out better than what we thought. We have a very strong commercial quarter, and the big boxes did well. Obviously, if you own stock in Home Depot and Walmart and Sam's and Target and all of those places, Lowe's, they did well, and that allowed us to maybe survive the pandemic, maybe more so than some other cities who didn't have that commercial development. So it was helpful for us.
Looking ahead to Q1 of 2022, hard to believe we're saying that. Is there anything on your radar, council's radar, that y'all are at least vision casting out first part of the year?
Yeah, we still have a lot of business activity going on that we hope to announce then. And even looking, I think we've had 17 new businesses open in the Central Business District in 2021, which is huge. I think there will be more of that going forward. I think part of it is we are, more than anything, a very attractive place to retire and relocate. The city just got announced last week. We got notified by AARP that we are one of the top 10 cities after the pandemic to retire, and I would say even relocate. And
I think it was live and retire.
Yeah, and it's it's always nice to be recognized on that stage, that national stage, and we're the smallest city. Compared to Philadelphia. And I think the other thing to all of us is that we knew it, and it's good to be recognized that other people realize it too. So I think all of that momentum will carry into 2022.